Hello everybody, we're back playing some World of Tanks on the PlayStation 4. This is Tactic Angel, your host today for The Hidden. This is a little bit weird, but I'm pretty sure that I got a special offer for The Hidden. I know I am a very important person, and I'm sure that nobody else did, because that's just how special I am. But if you did get a special offer and were offered the Hidden Stug 3, this is my little take on whether or not this is a good vehicle. I don't like playing tank destroyers, typically. I do kind of love German tanks, and honestly the reason why I got this is just because I think that the model looks really nice, and I think the price was like 60% off or something. And you're like, yeah, sure, why not? Stug 3, the Hidden does not have the top gun that you can get on the normal Tech Tree Stug. It has the good old-fashioned 7.5 millimeter KWK 40L48 that we see on every tank that the Germans ever produced, ever. It's on the GUP, it's on the 5.4. For some reason, it's also on the Hydrostat. The Hydrostat gets premium matchmaking, and so does this. Does it need premium matchmaking? Probably not. But you know, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't have many hit points, but then again, no tier 5 tank destroyer does have very many hit points. It's got plenty of pen to get through most of the things that it's going to want to get through. The reason why I'm loading premium here is because I am very sure that if that guy comes over that ridge, he will probably see me after I shoot, and I wanted to make sure he was dead, which, I mean, didn't happen. And now I've completely forgotten what I'm doing. As you can see, that spotting ring down at the bottom, the dashed line, is getting pretty small when I stop, and it gets even smaller if I get my camo net and everything up. The Hidden is actually, I think, the only one of the tanks that lives up to its name that come from the comic book collection, because it is seriously hidden. The Fortress is, I think, no tougher than your average Ferdinand, and I'm not sure that whatever the new one is any more ISU 152-ish than a standard ISU 152 with a little bit of sod on the front of it. But as you can see here, we have no problem getting through the front of that tank. Not hurt at all by the fact that I was shooting premium rounds there. This replay is probably not the most interesting. For the most part, I'm benefiting from kind of the kung fu direct-to-video mentality of the other team, because they're pretty much only challenging the top of this hill one tank or 1.5 tanks at a time. The Stug has a pretty decent amount of front armor. I would not count on it to bounce much, but you will bounce some shots, particularly if you use the gun depression. This has a pretty reasonable amount of gun depression, which is nice. The one thing, I would say the one real negative about this version of this tank is that it has a really slow reverse. It only reverses at 10 kilometers per hour, which is extremely slow. I was very lucky to have my my tracks and the side skirts eat that. As you can see, that was a high explosive round being fired by apparently that M2 medium. At this point, he can't see me. He would have done well to just assume I was somewhere and try to continue shooting me, because he's going to get outspotted here pretty bad. And there you can kind of see just how slow it is when it turns. We can't make a lot of mistakes here. As you can see, pretty much anything is going to be able to kill us. I've got a pretty decent crew in this at this point. She's got camouflage and muffled shot, which is only going to make this worse. Now we're just trying to help this guy at the end not die. Looks like we have an OI on really low health. OI's turret is not going to hold up to much of a challenge from this gun, particularly if we're still shooting premium. Our 5th kill, whole bunch of damage, a couple of spots. I think at this point I'm the faster of the two tanks, and probably the better of the two tanks to go scouting out for artillery, because the artillery is probably not going to see me before I see it, considering the camouflage factors. So anyway, Stug, do you want to buy it? You know, decent tier 5 tank. I enjoy playing tier 5 tanks a lot, because I think it's kind of between 5 and 7 is like the real wheelhouse of when you see the interesting World War II tanks. And after that, it starts to become silly, and you get a lot of post-war tanks fighting still interwar German tanks, and then at the same time German tanks that were designed 20 years later. Anyway, we expect to find the artillery back at the base, and wouldn't you know it, sail a shot, good times. And this is really just a matter of time. Wow, this is taking a while though. Boom! There is the end of the game. Securing our Top Gun. As you can see, this was when I was working on the Caboose. If you've listened to my review of the Caboose, I would highly suggest not taking that journey with me. There we are with the Mastery, almost 2,000 hit points on a tier 5 tank, pretty solid. 1649 base experience, very solid. And here are our efficiencies. Not much else to add. I like this tank. It's kind of like a big, slow tier 5 E25. Hopefully you've enjoyed the replay though, and I will see you on the next one.